Welcome back to the Augury House Radio. Welcome back to the Augury House Radio. I'm your host, the Augury House. Today, or this week, we're on the precipice of a new feature, if you will. So, if you remember last podcast, we talked about how the website was about to turn over, and we gave a little commemoration time capsule treatment to the old website, just as we're about to roll into the new website. And now, by the time this episode will come out, the new website will already be up and running. It will be linked in all of our links already, so no need to worry about where to find the new website. It'll be in the same place as always. It's just it's the same URL. It's just the content change, if you will. So that's one of our big things we have coming up. So Kevin and Ben won't really be around today. I will bring Kevin back for the gallery conversation today with Alexander Brunkhorst. But for now, we're just kind of keeping them, seeing what they can manage before, bringing them back in real full force again. But hopefully what we're really hoping is maybe someday we'll bring Ben and Kevin back for the intros of these segments. Hopefully sometime soon, once they we go put them through a little bit of training and stuff of what's good, what to do, how we run things around here. We do like a little bit of structure, but we do like to keep it loose as well. So we're just going to, establish a few protocols with them and then bring them back in full force. But on that note, we are on a very, very special precipice, if you will, precipice into the future. Up until this point, the Augury House has been a lot centered around Unreal Engine. That was kind of where we first started, where the project launched, where the idea of Augury House came about was really, originating in Unreal Engine and kind of the potential of what we can do. Me, the Augury House, I didn't really come here doing with the intent of making video games. I don't really have much of a video game background. But, I have played video games all my life, and I do continue to play games. So this world is kind of familiar to me. But I really didn't come out this with the desire to make video games. But I came at it as I was on my path to different things, and as I've refound this amazing form of the game form, it really occurred to me the many possibilities and how this could really help articulate my ideas. And now we're just kind of bringing that energy outwards. So with this new website, as we kind of mentioned, we're going to have some places for articles. We're going to have places where you can check out some of our works in progress that are coming straight from our very, very secret development Discord channel. So you'll see some sneak peeks of those. We also had, for the longest time, we've been sitting on these tutorials to kind of highlight our special approaches that we go about for making new projects, making new collaborations with Unreal Engine. As I mentioned, we didn't come at this from the side of game development, so the approaches that we use often coincide with approaches and concepts that we use in a bunch of different other programs for instance, for like Premiere Pro or any other video editing platform. We try to find the most similarities in tools and concepts and mostly use those within Unreal Engine. And same goes for concepts used in like digital audio workstations like Ableton and Logic. We like to find the overlap and really dig into that overlap. So those are what those Unreal tutorials are about. Finally, we have a home and a way to kind of communicate those. So hopefully you'll check that out. Those are on our website. When you scroll down a little bit, the future for those tutorials, we hope to maybe flesh out more small projects you can do on your own. Some of the things we have there are like instructions for if you want to make a little video, a custom video from a scene you made. Very, very easy to do, very few steps to do it. And in the future, maybe we'll even do some collaborations with some game game developers, and to try to make little more projects. Think of more projects that are really easy to do, very accessible for someone who doesn't know much about Unreal Engine at all. So that's our trajectory with the tutorials. It's a little, glimpse on the surface of what we got coming for the future. But other than that, yeah, so with this website opening up, we're also opening up some of our YouTube channels. So right now, as you probably are aware, maybe because you're watching it on YouTube right now, who knows? It's a crazy world, you know what I mean? But yeah, right now the radio mostly just the YouTube mostly just has the radio episodes, and then like the trailers for the Augury House and our other games. But but what's coming soon are some, hopefully some episodic content that we're working on. We have some ideas for easy to collaborate on projects that kind of have a strange bookend, if you will, for some ideas we're playing about. So hopefully those go smoothly, and if they do go smoothly, you'll see them on the YouTube channel. If they don't go smoothly, you'll also see them on the YouTube channel, but they'll probably be tacked on to one of these radio episodes if they don't turn out too hot. But either way, you'll probably see it regardless. So that's kind of the whole ecosystem of the Augury House is finally piecing together, where we'll have places where you can see behind the scenes, where you can kind of check in and see the process that we're doing overall, our overall approach in making these projects. And you'll be able to see through the radio and through the in development side on our website some of the things that might not maybe turn out too hot, that are maybe just garbage right off the rip and continue to be garbage, but are somehow a foothold to the next idea that's a little bit less garbage, and maybe that idea is a little bit garbage too, but it all comes together in the end. We always find a way to tie things together. It might take like a week or two, it might take a little bit longer, like a month, or some of these ideas have even taken like over close to a year to really, truly, fully mature, come to fruition. And some of those ideas, I've been waiting longer than a year, and I'm not really sure if they're going to really flesh out the way that we hope, but I guess they're getting there somehow, where we're gonna hope. But enough of this talk. Where the whole thing we're doing, all of this projects, all these add-ons, all these updates, all these radio things, streaming, whatever's, all this is tied into the philosophy of this growth-oriented approach. Of we're not worried about just only outputting the most polished, most beautiful things. Because if we did that, we'd probably only have half a project out. We might not even have anything released right now. But by, going, putting a lot of love into this, just being patient with what we have, and always striving to just grow and not get stuck on the mishaps that come along the way, we really try to foster this growth-minded, growth-oriented approach to creation. And so far it's been pretty great. We've ran into a lot of great people along the way. We're growing our projects, we're growing what we're doing, and that's to say we have a lot of fun things in the horizon. Some of the things I can't really disclose right now, but just like trust that is coming to you, because we're taking this growth approach. We're taking swings at it every day. And yeah, so that's we're just vibing right now. We're just hanging out and chilling. And on that note, today we have a very special guest, one from our current gallery show, Alexander Brunkhorst, who's actually our very first person who reached out to us about the gallery, about submitting their work to the gallery. So we've been super excited to have them in the show, and we really hope to have them later on in possibly other shows and possibly other radio shows to just talk or chill. And so, without further ado, I'm just gonna kick this over to Kevin, the gallery guy, and Alexander Brunkhorst, and I will see you after their conversation to round out this radio episode. And with that, to Kevin and Alex.
Thank you, Augury House. I am back. I'm Kevin, the gallery guy, and I'm here with Alex Brunkhorst, and we are going to be discussing his video, Welcome Back. And I've been just really excited for this conversation because Alex was the very first person to reach out to us about the gallery submission. So that has been super cool. I've been loving this short video from when I first saw it. To give my initial impressions, it feels like a weird fever dream of like visiting a friendly place or like a place that's somewhat familiar. So I guess this character, we're in the first person of this character coming home. There's a bunch of friends, they're all partying. Next second, something goes very strange. The actions in the room, they kind of there's people falling off of trees into trampolines. There's people, it just feels like such chaos, and there's like tons of great colors. Like we're like there's like flashes, big swaths of green. Everyone's knocked out at one point, and like the room is just covered in this like nice deep blue hue. And then at the end, there's like that wonderful surprise of just like the steam room filled with like this dragon. And I don't know, it's just such a great video filled with so many surprises. Like I just remember when I was first watching it, I kept watching it again and again, like, wow, what had to, I'm really curious to hear like what you had to go through in making this. I feel like it has sort of a charm where it seems like the film could have been made just very spontaneously too, where it's just like you have a lot of friends and then you're just kind of directing them on the spot. So I'm just curious to hear kind of like your whole approach, the kind of story behind this. How many things were kind of improvised maybe, or were they scripted? So yeah. And so I'm guessing you were behind the camera too, right, Alex?
Yeah, exactly. So, hi there. First off, I'm Alex. I'm a 26-year-old content creator, I guess one could say, or amateur director, as one could see in the movie. Although mainly I'm a movie collector and a critic, and come from that side of the screen basically. And back in 2019 it was, I made this short and I applied to a movie university with it actually. And I don't exactly know if there were any rules to this project, if there were any requirements really. But the one thing that I knew was that it had to be 3 minutes at most. So from the very first moment on, it was obvious that I would make it rather small scaled and rather easy. But I still had the ambition of something bigger, of something where more is happening than maybe a familiar or more typical 3-minute short movie. And back in the time, Gaspar Noé's movie Climax released. And I don't know have you heard about this movie? Have you seen it?
That sounds I'm familiar with the director.
Yeah. So you know his trademark signature style maybe of neon colors and everything going upside down basically.
Oh yeah.
And and it was my favorite movie of the year. And it's about a group of French dancers basically that go on a bad trip and that have a very colorful, beautifully choreographed dance scene and party. But because there's acid in the sangria, everything goes awry and people, die, basically, have a lot of problems. So yeah, the whole idea was that I wanted to do a one take without any interruptions, without any cut, which is a pretty wacky idea for such a spontaneous project without any budget. And also that I wanted to just transmit that feeling of a party, and as you said, a familiar place that's supposed to be cheerful and fun and relaxing, but then slowly it turns more dark and it descends into madness and it gets turned upside down. And much like Climax, it starts off rather friendly, although there's already some kind of conflict and some kind of hostility in front of the door at the very first second, as it could happen at a friendly party as well, though, because there's someone having a breakup or whatever. And then at the same time, because of the one take, we didn't have any time to make a big destruction area, or to say, okay, now we have 20 minutes to get everything started. So the very second the camera leaves the place where people are playing beer pong and dancing and playing and so on, when the very second I walked past, they had to lie on the floor and get the table on the ground, and the person that was just playing guitar had to rip his shirt off and walk inside the steam room and put on his mask. So yeah, it was a very quick thing. And also it was a real party. So I didn't tell them, hey, let's make a short movie. It was like, there's actually a good friend of mine coming back to Germany after a few years. So he's actually having a big welcome back party in his garden. But I also want to shoot a little short. So of course there were loads of people that were opportunistically there, or that didn't really know about the short, that just wanted to party. Therefore pressure was on. And what you see in this short is the third take. We didn't have a lot of reshoots. We didn't have a lot of possibility to make it any more smooth. And for that third take and for that approach where we just spontaneously used this event that happened anyway to film it and to try to do something with the story, I think it worked rather fine. And of course, it's not any comparison to Climax, but yeah, one has to start somewhere. And I'm just happy that we made this rather unconventional thing that actually fooled some people at the university later on, because they didn't know whether the party was real or just completely fake for the movie itself.
Wow.
Sorry, it was quite some rambling, but yeah, I was very focused, very anxious about this. Now I could talk about the whole thing one through.
Yeah, that's so cool. Because like one of the things I know, like what really threw me off is because like the scenes of the backyard, they just look so like lived in. Like they don't look as deliberate as like if you see, or it's like sometimes you're watching like party scenes in movies and there's this like, solo cups, something's like tipped over, but like here it looks at the beginning without like the crazy elements, like the fantasy elements, you like it could have been just like a party, as you said. So like that's so exciting. So how was it? So were you taking part as like the film director or like the camera person, or were you playing a role like within the short?
All three of those, basically. I mean, I stay behind the camera for the whole movie. You never see my face, so I'm not really acting, but you can still hear my voice because, the idea of the story is basically that I'm searching for my boyfriend on the party, but then later on I realize or find out that he's in the meantime, while I was away, while the character was away, basically he broke up or got someone else. And that's the scene that we realize at the end of the first walk into the garden. And then from then on, things get more weird and nightmarish, and we turn around and everything's falling to the ground and so on. So I'm the cameraman, I was the director, and I played basically the part of the protagonist, although unseen. And there was someone with a mic and with sound following me throughout the whole thing, and also someone with colored lenses and a flashlight to make up for these blue and green and reddish lights and effects live on the spot during the thing. So I told him, if we go to the book, then I want some green light or something. If we go there, I want some red light. And yeah, he had to look that he's not colliding with the mic, not colliding with me, and still having the light in all the right spots all the time. So yeah, I would say that possibly the most taxing or demanding job was really the one of the lighting.
Wow. And that was so 3 takes
Yeah,
total. Wow.
yeah.
So I'm curious. So like, do you usually, when you work on like film projects, go like the spontaneous route of like having people who are just opportunistically there? Like, is that like what you going for? Like that kind of surprise?
I didn't do any bigger scaled or really big scaled projects so far, so I can't answer how much preparation I would use then. And still, for this very short, one had to be sure that there are only people on the party that have no problem with being filmed, and also that nobody is looking directly into the camera or is distracting from the main idea of the whole thing. And also the steam machine had to be gotten from a friend and then into the garage. So there was quite some preparation on something that's seemingly extremely spontaneous already. But I think it's a pretty difficult question because on the one hand, it's always shoot what you got approach and write what you know about and so on. And if there is a party anywhere, yeah, of course you should use it to shoot something. And if there was some kind of festival in the city, then I probably would have tried to use that. But at the other time, that also means that you don't have nearly as much control over your subject, over your story, over your storytelling as you would like to have sometimes maybe. So if it was any more ambitious than a 3-minute one take with a singular storyline, then I don't think I would have done this in one take, or at least I would have tried to control the scene a little more. You could still use a real party, you could still use real or surprise people, but then you have to care more about the framing and who's in there and who's not, because you can't just shoot a full 20-minute movie like that and expect it to be really a story thing. It would be more than a more highly improvised comedy, maybe like some Joel Haver movie or video. Then yeah, you could use this approach, but not if you really want action. It was already not safe or not a good idea really to repeatedly have someone without any safety attached jump from the tree on the trampoline and just protect them that nothing happens. Of course, neck breaking crunching sound is an insert and not real, but at the end of the day it could have happened. Someone could have gotten hurt. So I think for larger projects one should make compromises when it comes to the actual spontaneity.
Gotcha. Yeah, like looking back, like just watching back this video as you're telling me about the how it came about, like, she's I'm so like I'm always so impressed by this last scene of the steam room, because it's like, I don't know, so there's something about that door that just locks in the rest of the steam. Like, it just seems so strange how there's like a cutoff. I feel like, I don't know, it might be like American doors, but like I've had it where like we've done steam rooms like in the house, but like the steam just leaks out so easily through the cracks.
Oh,
so there's something about that.
I never realized that. I never thought about that. I guess most doors in Germany as well would have the same problem as you just mentioned. Maybe it wouldn't have been a problem. Maybe it would have looked really cool, actually. Maybe it would have been a great shot that the steam is leaking out of the door. So we didn't plan that at all. But it just happens to be a metal door that doesn't leak anything. So we could have the full effect of opening it, and then there's a whole cloud of just steam coming out.
Yeah, that felt like such a magical, strange moment. I'm curious, like, do you like playing around with like ideas of of fantasy, because like what this kind of reminds me of is like I've been reading some stories recently about like, so they're like these like old Chinese stories, but I think there's like a lot pretty similar that's just like set in like the everyday, but they have like one little twist, one little fantasy twist. So it'd be uh like like the story could just be 2 pages where it's someone wakes up one day and then they like look at their bedside and they see like a 2-inch man, and then like the man like runs away, and that's like the whole entire story. So I feel like that's kind of like the way the fantasy is kind of working in this video, where it's still like very has the foot set in the real party,
Yeah, yeah, I
but
see what you
but
mean.
yeah, but the fantasy part is like it's such a fun cliff to like hang us on at the
It
end.
was also a spontaneous on-the-go decision actually, because the location where I shot at was, as I told, a friend's house, a friend's garden, and his parents used to have a import shop for um, wooden sculptures and such from Indonesia. And so
Wow.
this is a mask from Bali, I think. And it was just yeah hanging around in the garden. And we had the concept of we want to go there and want to go back and we want to make it nightmarish and we want to make sure it's yeah inspired by climax and so on. But how it ends or with what image we should close the whole thing off, or is it rather it's rather a funny thing, or if we want to end it with a scare, whatever, wasn't sure until we found that mask and decided that it could be a fun manifestation, I guess, of these regrets and of these nightmarish yeah situation of betrayal, where you just realize that yeah the whole thing went upside down, and what seemed like a cool and nice evening or night or party just became yeah actually demon-like. So having this demon head laying around in the garden was just a perfect little piece. But I would have also ended it otherwise. For example, if there wasn't the requirement of having it 3 minutes at most, maybe I would have gone with a long outro where we walk down the street during the sunset while crying or something like that. So it wasn't sure that I had to end it this way, this short. But once the mask was there, it just came together. And yeah, I'm really happy if it works for you.
Yeah, yeah. Like what that did for me is just like I feel like so much of I don't know, it's like sometimes I watch films and then or like look at narratives, and it's like you have the narrative of the film, but then like sometimes what shows or movies do really well is like the end part sets up like the personal narrative of like what you can kind of internalize and play with around in your head. And I guess like for example, shoot, I don't know. I don't know if you watch anime, but like there's some like
Rarely, I'm sorry.
okay.
I've just seen the new Netflix anime, but it's really an
Wait, which
expensive.
one?
The Roman thermal architect, Roman bath architect, Therma
Oh,
e Roma e Nova e.
oh yeah, yeah. I remember
So
seeing that. Was
just
that pretty good?
watch that. What really fun. But
Oh,
yeah, I don't usually mostly watch anime, unfortunately. But yeah, what do you mean? Like the last scenes nail down the main point of the protagonist's story, or
oh yeah. So yeah, just to give a quick example. So like there's this one anime that like the way it ended, Hunter x Hunter, but like the way it ended is like it set up a whole new world, like a whole new world of possibilities. They're like the protagonists, they're just like setting off on this whole new mission. Like the main dude like found his dad, they're hanging out after like 200 episodes of
I see. So
looking.
so off to new worlds, off to new adventures, off to new yeah new genres maybe.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But it's like we don't ever see like what happens after that. But it's like the promise is that it's good, is that like whatever comes next is good. or is like really compelling. Like that's what it promises, but it kind of just like leaves it to the viewer to I guess figure out the rest. And that's what I feel like the last shot does. Is
Yeah,
like
yeah, I totally see that. Yes, we were also going for a kind of comedic tone because once the demon is there, we could have just ended it, but we thought that it's not really scary, so rather levitate the scene a little bit by just saying, "Oh, nope," and then bang the door shut, and that's
yeah.
it. But yeah, I see what you mean. It's definitely a break, and it's unexpected, I guess. I would have loved to basically tell the audience more that that the demon is like a progression from what was already there before, like that this manifestation is really just that, not seen as a person, not seen as someone with a mask. But
Mm.
there wasn't enough time to make this connection. And if there would have been other smaller masks, then I maybe would have already shown them on the way in the garden. So at the end, then it all culminates together. But as it's in the way it's shot like this, I still like the surprise element, and I still like the idea that you just talked about. That maybe I even get the audience a little off guard because they think, yeah, that's it, and it may end with steam or with just a dead party.
Yeah. So wait, so you would have had other people wearing the mask like earlier? Or there would just be like the mask would be in the scene or like smaller
Now
masks?
just some planting and payoff, some subtle foreshadowing, I guess, subtle foreshadowing, yeah. Like if there would have been multiple masks, or if there was someone with a mask tattoo or something like this, or something that already teases this demonic entity, then I would have loved to plant something around the garden so the camera may have a short little pen about it or something.
Gotcha. So are you looking to like continue this narrative or like play with the ideas that you've used in this video further?
It was a really a really really great experience to just get there semi spontaneously and have a crowd of people that listen to your instructions and share the passion on, if not the passion, then at least the idea behind it, and that get your vision and then say, let's do this. So I think what I most take away from this is really the general approach, really the idea that you can make a short little fun thing on the spot. And this whole shoot what you got approach is really, I think you can make a really fun movie with just a landscape, with just an environment, with just an empty building if you happen to be there alone. And I also think that if you have a party and 20, 30 people that say, yeah, you can use us as extras basically, then you should definitely use it. So since Corona, there haven't been a lot of parties with 30 people that I try to do anything with. But once this time comes back, I definitely think that I would like to not continue with this narrative, but with this approach and with this idea of smaller scaled party movies, maybe even. Why not? It was really a fun project.
Yeah, I love the idea of like party movies. It's like I don't know, from like the times I've tried like organizing shoots and things like that, it's always so hard to get like more than just like five friends like just at the same time in the same space for a shoot. So like
I can
a
totally
party
see
is such a like feels like such an obvious and fun idea.
it seems obvious, but really, you don't know if the people come there sober. You don't
Oh
know
yeah,
who
sure.
else. You don't know who else is going to come. You don't know if anyone really wants to do a movie. It's putting a lot of pressure on you. I think I could have maybe done 2 or 3 more takes, and it would have been even better or more perfect movie. But then again, it would have been 2 or 3 hours of straight up just shooting for everybody who's just there to have a good time. So it's really a compromise, and it's not like I knew everybody there personally. It's not like everybody was there for my movie, and if it's like you said. If you say I want to shoot a movie, then maybe 5 people turn up. If you say I want to make a party, then maybe 20 people turn up. So if there's a compromise, if there's a level in between, if you can use the best of both worlds, then yeah, that's really what I'm aiming to do here.
So like logistically, when did you so like did you like go around telling people about the short film like at the start of the party? Or did you like come or did like the idea of the short, doing the short come in a little bit later?
Um, I'm not sure. It's already 3 years now, so I'm not.
Oh,
It's it's not like I came up with the idea during the party. It's not like they were already completely overwhelmed and intoxicated. They knew in advance and knew before, but because it wasn't my party, I wasn't the one handling the WhatsApp group. So I guess it was really a friend of mine who said, "Yeah, we were about to shoot this and that," and yeah, a few weeks of planning, really, a few weeks before of planning and having an idea and so on, but no script, no no extra group for this, no budget. It was really one steam machine, and everything else was just yeah, we're going to make a party because a friend of mine comes back, and there's also a shoot scene.
also doing a shoot.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. That's it. That's such a fun way to approach it. Wow.
Which is also in the vein of what Noé did with Climax, by the way, because it wasn't as spontaneous, of course, but he at least also didn't have a shooting script, but also like 10 or 12 pages of ideas and of topics, and the rest was improvised. He didn't use actors, he used dancers, so the dances are incredibly choreographed, but the actual dialogue is very authentic and feels very real and raw because it's not fake. And yeah, so having the whole potential unfold by making it a little looser and not tightening the whole process into your conceptualized idea of what it's supposed to look like, yeah, I think can really help the artistic project.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's cool because like you can really I don't know, you can really tell in like the fabric of the film like when you're watching something that like doesn't have that's not just built on, you know, a super rigid script with like all professional actors versus you know like taking these approaches like with dancers or like in your case like with the party like you can really just like feel it when you're watching like it has like a whole different way of just like carrying information from like point A to point B. So like I don't know like this I'll have to check out Climax, but like your short it was like so refreshing to watch. Yeah. So oh, it's 2018 Climax 2018.
Oh yeah, then maybe it was my favorite movie from the year before. But
Wow. Oh,
but
824.
but still, it wasn't a lot of time happening between I saw that and between I made this short. I would have loved to watch Climax once with everyone on the party, so they knew what we were going for. But of course, it wasn't possible in such a short time, and the film didn't even release in Germany for a year or something. So yeah.
That would be a cool idea. A party slash movie slash shoot.
Although
That,
Climax is possibly one of the last movies you want to watch before starting a party because
oh,
it's a rather room cleaner, really.
oh, really? That's funny. Maybe save that for when everyone's drunk.
Yeah, late in the night when you
Yeah.
want to end things.
Yeah, I guess. Gee, yeah.
So what do you got coming up next on the gallery and on this project and on this podcast?
Yeah, so ooh, thanks for asking. So like we have for the gallery, we have some new video rooms coming up for this next gallery. There's so it's kind of like the unique spaces from the last one with like the sculptures floating around and stuff and like the poetry.
Yes.
But for video now, so that's going to be some of the new things. The radio. So so for the radio, I'm trying to think of like more ways to like cut things up and like slip them into the game somehow, but just like haven't gotten around to it yet. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think one of these radios is gonna like commemorate some of. So one thing I've been interested is like making them time capsule-y. So like some things, or like for instance, so since we're bringing up like the new website soon, uh, I think the pod or the air or the radio before this planning on or doing like a scroll through of the current website just to kind of like time capsule it, just to so we have a sense of how things
Yes.
evolved.
Yes.
So I guess that's one of the new ways where we're going to be playing with the radio, but it's just very free, very open. It's just kind of like a very flexible gap filler to everything else. So so like in this, so in some senses, like it shows it can show some snippets of some things that like that are totally scrapped. I think there's like one level of like you jump around and you hear a bunch of hey, people saying hey. It's like that's never going to come out on anything. So it's just like a fun way to log like all the directions that we've tried or that we're planning on going or have been. So yeah, that's like that trajectory. And are you planning on making any short films anytime soon?
I think the next one I'm going to make is also going to be rather as spontaneous as the last one, because I see something that amazes me, because I watch something that inspires me. And so far, I think the next medium I'm going to dabble in, besides my reviews, I'm still writing movie reviews every day, which of course takes some time. I think will be more on the musical side, because I'm really this is really the main medium that speaks to me, and it's more mobile and flexible. Of course, you can't watch a movie every single second of your life, but you can pretty much listen to music every single second of your life. And that's what I'm doing. So although I don't know which software or which genre exactly I will end up in, I think with a very similar approach to the movie thing, I will try to do some music, maybe some field recording from wherever I am at the second, maybe something completely synthesized. But yeah, we will see about that.
Whoa, so do you make music?
I haven't yet really. I did one parody album with friends of mine in school days, but it's long it's long gone and shouldn't even be mentioned really. But I'm always open for it. What I'm really doing is writing. I'm writing every single day my reviews and sometimes smaller other pieces, short stories. But I'm not programming. I'm not making music yet, and I'm always looking for new cool ideas for short films or for smaller projects. But there's also some perfectionism coming with me, and I can barely look at the the clip that we just talked about, because I wouldn't have done it like this nowadays. I'm okay with it because I did it back in the days. Back in the days it was great, but now I'm not looking forward to it. And I think my next project would be something maybe similar in size or scale or length, but not content wise. And I would try to have a better audio and better quality of the picture and so on. Yeah.
Geez, well, I'm super excited to see whatever you make next. But one thing I was wondering is, where can we find your reviews and your short stories?
I'm afraid they're all in German, so that's not really internationally appealing. I could, of course, now mention my letterbox, but it feels like the most surface level thing ever. So
I mean, we can link them both. Yeah.
I guess people can reach out if they are German, if they are interested. But when it comes to English text, it's really just rather short reviews and short comments on Letterboxd and social media. And also my YouTube channel has been very sporadically, and the last bigger series I did were some gameplay stuff, also completely in German. So I'm right now in the process of, you're hearing it maybe, trying to figure out this language on on a level where I can actually use it in my work and where I could feel confident in writing a short story in English, where I could feel confident in making a short movie, even something like this on English, and so on. But yeah, so far I'm afraid it's still very localized.
Hey, well, you've been killing it so far. Like it seems like just talking to you, like if someone told me you're a native English speaker, I'd probably believe them, you know?
Ah, come
So
on. Much praise.
cool. Well, yeah, so if you ever do have like any links that you want me to link on, you know, on Spotify, YouTube, or like one of our on the new website once that comes up soon, let me know. German or not, like who knows? Like we might even have some people who know German. So
I will absolutely reach out, especially when I make something that's mainly visual, like that short movie, or if that something that I would even like to see in the gallery.
cool.
Also, speaking of the gallery, do you still have like enough? Do you plan on exhibiting every piece that's delivered to you that people reach out at the same time? Like it's a growing collection that gets bigger and bigger at the time, or do you want to make weekly selections? And do you have enough works already to only ever show a small part of what people have already sent to you?
Yeah, so my goal is like whatever people send, like I'm happy to throw in there. Um, Currently, what I've been aiming for, like benchmark wise, is like around three or like three new artists or artists per gallery, or three just outside artists per gallery. Um, just and then like the plan is like right now. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, I just forgot my thought. Wow. Okay, yeah, three per gallery. Yeah. So three per gallery, and like if we ever get to a point where there's like, you know, more than three submissions at a time, then probably just going to move it to the next gallery, or maybe even just make the gallery bigger. I don't know. It's like very
Okay.
yeah. It's
Oh,
very I'm very so flexible.
but the idea is that the old pieces remain and can be seen at
Oh
all time, or do you want to, yeah, like permanently permanently hide them again? Or?
yeah. So yeah. Great question. So haven't really figured out the best way to go about it. One way I'm doing is I am just the way it's currently set up is that like the last month submission kind of just like goes away for the next mission, but I do have like a file with like all of the gallery, uh, like like all the galleries essentially, like the first one, second
Okay.
one, third one, all so
Okay.
on. So some ideas I've been playing with was either periodically opening up the other galleries and just like bringing them back in. Another option could have been to like maybe have a release that's just gallery. The only thing tricky about if I did keep all the galleries within the game is like the file size would get
Yeah, I was
huge.
wondering about that.
Yeah. So
I mean, a fun idea would be like a skyscraper where the top floor is always the last gallery, so you can always expand, and the ground floor is always the newest exhibition, and if you go up, you can see the one from last week and so on. Yeah, but I guess the file size would be around 200 GB or something if you did that.
yeah, but the fun thing is like once we get some more galleries under our belt, we'll have like enough material to like make to maybe make like a gallery game that's just the gallery. So like we have all the materials to do it already, since like you know like the levels are pretty easy to set up and things like that. So that was an option. Another thing that's just been floating around idea wise would be like if someone had like an idea or like a video or anything that went in the gallery that they wanted permanently in the game, like we could do that as well. Like if someone made like a little space or has a video that they would want in the house somewhere, like very flexible for that too. So like
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that sounds fun. So Yeah, I thought the house was basically your sanctuary and your place, and from then
Oh,
on, one could venture out into all the other contents that are linked to it. But yeah,
oh no,
if you
yeah,
say
yeah.
there could be some, yeah, I don't know, any animations, shifts on the wall, just some projects inside that would be fun as well. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah. So like the like eventually what I'm really hoping for is that like if people have ideas for like Easter eggs or like, picture frames or like videos in like the main house, like we could get that going. Like that would be like really, really fun. And then like we also have like a bunch of other like small houses in the neighborhood that like hoping to fill eventually. So so yeah, like
Yeah,
the
that
whole
was
like
my very first experience with the project, with
oh, the
the very
neighborhood.
first one, running through this eerily empty
Yeah.
neighborhood, not being sure what this is, if there is something hidden or not, if there is another frosh in some of the empty houses, could never be
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So slowly fleshing that out. There's one house in particular that has a basement. Yeah, like a little cement basement, and hopefully hoping to like link a dungeon in there somehow.
Oh, wow,
So
okay.
yeah, well, like the way I work is just like I have tons of free assets from just using Unreal. So got some cool looking dungeons, so hopefully we'll have like a dungeon level linked. But yeah, like the whole trajectory of like this project is just very, very flexible. Just hoping to get more people collaborating within it. And yeah, it's just been some pretty fun so far.
Absolutely. And I'm excited to be part of this. And I wouldn't have guessed that I was the first person to reach out to you because, yeah, I don't know, I thought it would have gotten some traffic or some more interest already. And I hope it will do in the future.
Yeah. Well, thanks for reaching out to us. Like it's been so great talking to you, learning more about like your work and what you do. So cool to talk to someone outside the US too. I think so far we've had two people from outside the US. One Korea and then you, Alex.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this to become outstretching, big multinational and multimedia project with its own, yeah, everything basically, soundtrack and design and web page and so on.
Yeah. Well, like I'll keep you updated on everything as they come through, and yeah, hopefully we'll get some more of your stuff. We'll be able to collaborate further in the future. Like it's been really fun.
Yeah, it's definitely more likely than my movie being projected into any real museum anytime soon. So yeah,
Oh
I'm definitely using this advice. Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea for anyone without without money, without to stretch out, without any opportunities in the real world, even to just say this is my piece and I made this and I want to show it to the world and everybody can download it for free. So yeah.
yeah. That's what we're hoping for. But cool. So it's been like an hour now. So
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't
guess
have guessed. Crazy.
yeah. So yeah. Thanks a lot for talking with me, Alex.
Thanks a
And
lot for asking.
yeah. And I'm sure we'll see you on here again sometime.
I ideally hope so.
Yeah. All right. And I'll send it back to the Augury House.
Alright, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that conversation between Kevin the Geller Guy and Alexander Bunkhorst. All the links for Alexander's work will be in the description of this video, as well. Even if you're listening on Spotify, it will be in the description on Spotify. And if you are on our new website, we will also have links for Alex on there, which can be found in the radio section of our projects page, as well as our gallery archive, where you can find links on Alexander Bunkhorst. And today, since since our as I'm recording this right now, actually, this is the day that our new website was set live. So on that note, we don't really have much work. We have a lot of half-eaten things so far, so I think today the work that we'll be showing is just the new website. So head on over to that website. Go have a good check it out. You know, we'll have some we have some new spaces for articles on the website. That's one of the big new things. So with these articles, we hope to use those to give some updates on what we're doing, updates on some new things that appear within our projects and things like that. And also, we hope to make some articles about the research we're doing. So a lot of our work so far has strong roots in actual real life research. So some things we might be talking about is like Asian folklore, for example, or we might look at how film works its ways into our ideas, into our approaches. So there's a whole slew of different various concepts and ideas that we're playing with that come from a wide range of other mediums. So we're going to surely use the article space to dive into those, but we also want to really broaden what these articles can be and what they can look like. So another thing that we're hoping to do is invite other people to collaborate on some articles. So maybe we'll have some conversations with people. Maybe we'll have articles, just about whatever, just showcasing some artists that we're fond of, and just or we might just use it to carry the conversation with the collaborators as well. So maybe we'll have a gallery collaboration, and then we'll have the creative on the Augury House radio show, and then we might even have some writings or additional behind the scenes work within our website articles. So those are some things to expect in the coming future. They're all very still in early development. We're still working on a bunch of things, but now that the website is out as of today, we'll now have the foundation or the infrastructure to really dig into this new future of Augury House that isn't just Unreal Engine dependent. That's really more community oriented. So that's kind of the new things that are coming up. One of to give, I guess it'd be fair to give one more thing, since I'm not showing a thing, and maybe you might even have seen the website up until this episode came out. So maybe if you're watching it like that, the news about the new website isn't much news to you. Maybe you're already used to it. Maybe you had it open in a tab and it was just kind of burning there for a while. Maybe you should close your tabs or something and feel the refreshment of purging your web browser of, when you just clear out the history, just destroy all your tabs. You open your Safari or Chrome or Firefox or whatever, and you look at it, and you try to remember what the tabs are. You try to remember what the important ones were, but you kind of remember 2 or 3 of them, and then you're like drawing blanks. But once you just kind of give yourself to the fact that those links are gone and you didn't save them anywhere else, and like in bookmarks or on a notepad, then it really sets in that this is kind of like the new frontier of your web browsing experience, if you will. And that's kind of like what's going on here with our new website. But I guess what I was trying to say is to give one little new little tidbit, new little hint of what's coming in the future, is that we're playing with some ideas for zines. And these just won't be these will be physical zines, of course. We're working on that, but there's going to be some digital components to it as well. That kind of goes beyond just buying physical and digital versions of the physical or digital versions of a zine. It'll go beyond that, but there will be the physical or digital. There will you will have those options for those zines when we open those up, but it'll go beyond that as well. We'll have little secrets. That's the secret part of it. But I don't want to say too much. I probably said a little bit too much. If you if you're tuning into my wavelengths, I probably even spilled a little bit too much if you're reading my mind right now. My mind's kind of like on the tape, so don't read into it too much because a little bit of surprise is okay, right? A little bit of surprise is nice, but I guess before I keep running my thoughts dry and kind of just spoiling all of Augury House right here, right now, and then there won't even really be a point of making any projects. Before it comes to that, I just kind of want to wrap this up and say thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.